So when I first started working at studios, it was at a time when the days of tape were ending and the days of Pro Tools and DAWs in general were coming online. For instance, one of my first solo sessions as an engineer was with a rap group. There were about 10 people in the studio, and all they wanted to do was drop a beat from an MPC drum machine to tape and then record the vocals over it using Pro Tools. But to make that happen, we had to have the tape machine, 2 computers, and an MPC all fire off at the same exact time. And that wasn't easy to do at all. So what I would have to do is run SMPTE from the tape machine, the actual analog tape machine, out track 24, and that would go to the patch bay. I would then mult that. And what mult that means, if you don't know, is duplicate it basically so I could split it to different tracks. And then I would send one of those to Pro Tools so it would sync with SMPTE and Pro Tools. And then another one of those would go to this other computer. So we had 2 computers to do this. Another computer running Vision, which was this old school MIDI software. It was probably the first MIDI DAW on a computer. The reason I had to do that is because the only way to get the MPC to fire off at the same exact time was with MIDI timecode. And so I would have to run SMPTE to Vision, have it fire off, which was a process in itself. And then from there, it would drop MIDI timecode to the MPC. And needless to say, with all that happening, about 1 million things could go wrong, and did my first few months as a new engineer. So much so that the head engineer told me later on that he was very, very close to firing me. But the one thing that could save me was Pro Tools, because that was the one thing I actually really knew coming out of school. I could work magic with Pro Tools. I could fly hooks, edit vocals, all this stuff that you could never dream of doing using just tape, and people loved that. Then I got my hands on a new plugin that changed everything for me, and I was the only guy in Boston who had it. With this plugin, I could take your lead vocal and your double vocal, and I could line them up perfectly. And that plugin was called Vocalign. And I know in 2024 that doesn't sound like a big deal, but in 2004, when I first started, it was game-changing and helped me keep my job. So in today's video, I'll show you the new Vocalign, how to use it if you're a beginner, and some of the new features for some of us guys that have been using it for a while. Before we do get started, if you need your songs mixed and mastered, hit me up at mixandmastermysong.com. You can also find my courses and presets there as well. Let's go. All right, guys, so here is the new Vocalign Pro. You can see it is in this new black color. It looks really nice, super easy on the eyes. I'm using an aura mode here in Studio One, which has been around for a while. One of the biggest features, though, of this new Vocalign Pro is that it will be in aura mode in Pro Tools finally. So just the way you use Melodyne in Pro Tools, you'll be able to use this as well. So I don't have it to show you because you need the beta version of Pro Tools, and I'm not installing a beta version of Pro Tools on my work computer, but it will work just as it does here in Studio One. So it'll be the same thing. Okay, so let's get into using this. This is a song by my buddy Aiden, produced by my good friend Matt. It is called Ultimate Fire. Please check it out on all the streaming platforms. Let me just play it for you. He is an amazing singer, but this vocal is just slightly off. And you'll hear it in a few spots, but let's take a listen. So this is the main vocal and the double.
Tolerance is preach, but it's not for your beliefs. Your opinion doesn't matter if it's not the same as me.
So you'll hear, especially that your opinion doesn't matter right here.
It's not for your beliefs, your opinion doesn't matter.
It just gets a little off. So let's Vocalign it, and that will clean it right up really fast. So all you do is you right click and hit edit with Vocalign, right? And that will bring up Vocalign either here or in Pro Tools. And we go to capture and hit capture, and it's now put our guide, which is our lead vocal. Then we're going to click the next vocal. I have it on a short key named V. You can create that on your own, or you can right click to it again. And we're going to capture our guide. I'm going to put this thing in a new group, which I'm going to go over soon. It's going to be group 2. I'm going to hit capture, and now our dub has been put in there, and you'll see the match timing is turned on over here, and we have it set for tight. You have presets here for how tight you want it to be. We just have slightly loose timing default. We can also fix some pitch stuff, which we're going to get into. So you can fix which pitch you want to use with this preset just to get started. We'll do slightly loose timing. So let's hit play and see what that did.
Tolerance is preach, but it's not for your beliefs. Your opinion doesn't matter if it's not the same as me.
So you can see that your opinion doesn't matter is much tighter now. And we can tighten it up even more. Right now we're using normal flexibility. We can do maximum expansion or lowest flexibility with a super tight mix max difference, and it will be even tighter than it was before.
Tolerance is preached, but it's not for your beliefs. Your opinion doesn't matter if it's not the same as me.
So that is literally perfect. It sounds awesome. Now, we can dive deeper in here. Right now, we're using the lead vocal in a harmony, which is fine. If you had a lead vocal in a double and the double was slightly off here and there as far as pitch goes, this can now fix that as well. I like using this harmony just because you'll see how well it works. If we turn this match pitch on and play it, you're going to hear that it will be in unison now with that lead vocal.
Tolerance is preached, but it's not for your beliefs. Your opinion doesn't matter if it's not the same as me.
That's pretty crazy. Just so you remember, this is what it was before that.
Tolerance is preached, but it's not for your beliefs.
So it completely matched not only the dub as far as the timing, it matched the pitch as well. And you can switch that around as well, just like you can with match timing. If you do want to do match unison only, that will make it so it's just doing the unison. So now we'll see that it doesn't fix that like it did.
Tolerance is preached, but it's not for your beliefs.
So now it's cleaning that up. And what that match unison does is if we had the lead and then a doubles and then harmonies as well, you could do match unison only. It would actually only fix those unison vocals and then leave the timing of the other vocals intact. The third option you can do is you can use this almost as a creative effect or change the pitching a little bit more here with a formant. So let's check this out. Let's hit the dub and do a high pitch vocal, switch this to high and check this out.
Tolerance is preached, but it's not for your beliefs. Your opinion.
So now we're getting almost like that chipmunk sound. So, you could use this to create a kind of a different double, or as an effect, we can switch to low pitch vocal and switch it to lower.
Tolerance is preached, but it's not for your beliefs.
And we're getting kind of that like screwed sound. So you could just actually duplicate a vocal and do that too, instead of using a different tool to do that kind of stuff. So lots of possibilities on what you can do with this. All right, so now let's get into this group mode. One quick thing before that though, in Pro Tools, if you've used Vocalign in Pro Tools, it only did it through Audio Suite, which was kind of a destructive process. Once you processed the Vocalign file, it was done. You couldn't undo. Unless you wanted to go drag the original file back in from the audio folder, and then, you could bring it in that way, but all your edits would be gone. It was a little bit of a nightmare as far as undoing things. Vocalign now has undo here. So like you can see where we had put this lower pitch. If we hit undo, it undoes the last thing we did, which is huge. And so if you want to go 5 steps back from what you did, you can do that now. Or if you wanted to hear before and after, we could hit this forward again and listen to the low pitch and then switch it back. So a lot of flexibility with what you can do and, hear the before and after kind of thing with undo. And so that brings us back to the grouping part, because now what you can do is you can load a bunch of different files into Vocalign and process them all at the same time. So let's show you guys this with an example. Here is another harmony of this. So we're going to Vocalign that, bring it in. It's in group 2. We want to make sure we stay in the same group and hit capture. So now all 3 of these are matched.
Tolerance is preached, but it's not for your beliefs. Your opinion doesn't matter if it's not the same as me.
All those are perfect timing. And now, if say we wanted to make all those unison like we did before, let's switch this back to match all guides and hit play. And you're going to notice that all these harmonies and the lead are the same note.
Tolerance is preached, but it's not for your beliefs. Your opinion doesn't matter if it's not the same as me.
So normally you probably wouldn't do that, but it's a good example of showing you that we can load a couple different stacks in and change the settings on them at any point in the session. So if, down the line, we send mix 3 and the singer goes, you know what? It's just a little too tight with the timing. I want it to be a little looser. We can, turn this down and it's going to do it universally on all those stacks in that group. And so that's a huge time saver and something that will be super helpful with, people wanting to change their minds so much with mixes. All right, guys, so that is the new Vocalign 6. Let me know what you think about the improvements in the comments below. And as I said, if you need your song mixed or mastered, hit me up at mixandmastermysong.com. Also find my courses and presets there too. Talk to you soon.